Now, Syria is witnessing fierce fight between rebels and government-led forces. Syrian rebel fighters took control of several neighborhoods in Aleppo, Syria's second-largest city, as clashes continued with government forces on Friday. To stop forward movement by the rebels, the Syrian army closed major roads in and out of Aleppo, issuing safe withdrawal orders to troops in certain neighborhoods. Checkpoints around the city were instructed to allow only military personnel to enter or exit, effectively sealing off Aleppo. Syrian authorities also closed Aleppo airport and cancelled all flights on Saturday as rebels opposed to President Bashar al-Assad are moving forward to take control of the city. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said key Syrian town of Sarakib was also taken over by the jihadist group. Friday's advancement in Aleppo is part of a major offensive launched by Syrian rebels and their allies that began Wednesday. By Friday, opposition fighters led by the Islamist militant group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham captured over 50 towns and villages in northern Syria. Russia, a key ally of Assad, has pledged additional military aid to help repel the rebels, with new equipment expected to arrive within the next 72 hours. The rebels are returning to the city for the first time since 2016. Meanwhile, a video posted on social media shows students rushing down the stairs of student housing at a university in the government-held city of Aleppo after an artillery shell fell. The official news agency of Syria reported death of 4 people in this strike. My colleague Jessica Taneja joins me live. She has more information on this. Jessica, good morning. Hezbollah's Naim Qasem's first address and ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah. Tell us, how do we see this panning out in the days to come? Because both Israel and Lebanon have been trading accusations at each other for breaching the ceasefire deal.
Spanning across the entire region to an extent that ever since Wednesday, when the ceasefire deal was enforced, there has been relatively calm. But for how long will it hold? Because there are violations from both ends to an effect. There were reports of the Hezbollah fighters also charging at the Israelis, and the Israelis, of course, also militarily taking action against a few groups that it considers to be a threat for its national security. So on the surface, it does continue, but the focus then remains on how long will the ceasefire deal hold, to the effect that it brings lasting peace. And the 13-point agreement particularly states that within 60 days you could expect the Israeli troops, the ground troops, will withdraw from Lebanon, whereas you'd see Hezbollah and its fighters also somewhat retreat from the Litani River and southern Lebanon, also the border of Lebanon and Israel. So a lot to watch out for in the future. But from the moment that we see there is relative peace and calm in that particular region, at least on that front, for the moment, if not too much, but it's the one on the side of Gaza and Palestine, which right now is still flared up, and we're seeing reports of people still being killed.
A lot to watch out for in the coming days. But Jessica, talking about Syria, the largest offensive in years by the Syrian opposition fighters against the government forces. Do you think it has stirred fears of reigniting a civil war that has been mostly frozen for years?
Ever since 2011, when we saw what happened in Syria and the whole emergence of Arab Spring, there have been minor sort of incidents here and there, but this recent flare-up in Syria does seem to signify, it does seem to show that the Assad regime is slightly under pressure, to the effect that this new development has pushed him slightly on edge with the attack from the minority, the Sunni jihadist group that has now waged a war. And of course, we saw the killing of one of the commanders of the IRGC in Syria as well. So, and attacks frequently on students, and looking at how this is panning out, it's certainly be a tough task ahead for Bashar al-Assad, who has seen relative calm, but not to the extent where it could be out of harm's way.
All right, Jessica, we'll leave it at that. Thanks.